Hey everybody, I'm here for chapter 4, section 2. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the different banks. I decided to use some of my students. Usually I have you guys do this, but since we're in this era and during this time, I'm just going to teach it and then you guys can get right to doing your next module, credit and debt. Um, the first bank I want to take a look at, I just want to do this real quick, is commercial banks. Commercial banks are PNC, some of the common banks that you might see around town. They control the largest amounts of funds and they offer the widest range of services. So they can basically do everything. Some things they do better than others. Some services include checking and savings accounts. Most of you have a checking and savings account through PNC. They are a commercial bank. All right. They also have transfer funds among banks, individuals, and businesses. Okay. So a lot of different things that commercial banks can do. Commercial banks are good because they're accessible. They're good to have checking and savings accounts through. Maybe not get a house mortgage, okay, or a car mortgage. You want to get these things through savings and loans associations or savings banks, okay. So savings and loans associations and savings banks are the same exact thing. They accept deposits, offer funds to individuals. They mainly specialize in mortgages, okay, and loans to family. They offer finance for commercial mortgage and auto loans. Their interest rates for loans are slightly less than commercial banks. Okay, so they're kind of better to go through. Probably wouldn't be the best thing to go get a mortgage through a commercial bank like PNC. They may not offer you as good of an interest rate as say Northwest Savings Bank. Northwest Savings Bank is a savings and loans association. They specialize in savings and giving loans out. Okay, so they're looking to give you that long-term finance as far as instead of a commercial bank who's looking for that short-term finance. Okay, like I said, okay, they tend to have many of the same services as commercial banks, but they specialize in those. Now, these are really good to get into if you are part of a union, a teachers union, steam fitters union, uh, whatever it might be, plumbers union. You might have an opportunity to get into a credit union. It's owned and operated by its members, provides savings accounts and low interest loans only to its members. So as you purchase stuff or get loans from this credit union, you actually um, have money in an account in a credit union. Okay, so you're primarily giving, and you're considered to be somewhat of an owner because they just use their finances that are given to them for different things. They are primarily for paying personal. Okay, they'll give you personal loans, auto loans, and home improvement loans. Although larger credit unions offer home mortgages as well. Um, I like to go through my credit union for cars. In general, they give me really good interest rates as far as that. Probably wouldn't go through the credit union for a house mortgage. I would go through a savings and loans association like Northwest, Marquette Savings Bank, anything with a savings on the end. For my commercial, I go through PNC. Why? It's accessible. I'm able to get to it fast. It's everywhere. I got app. They got an app for it. It's easy and accessible to get into the app. Okay, so I belong to three different banks personally, and it's because I teach this. I belong to PNC for my commercial use, meaning that it's quick, accessible. I have my bank accounts. I pay my bills through PNC. My house mortgages through Northwest Savings Account. Why? Because that's where I get the best rate. That's where I got the best rate as far as my house was concerned. And my cars go through the credit union because I get the best rate. They operate at those middle level loans the best. Okay, so it's important to know these things. I mean, if you didn't know these, then you wouldn't be getting the best deal for yourself. So, what institution are you going through? Unfortunately, finance companies are to be the ones uh, like Sally Mae and what are some other ones? I'm not really sure, but finance companies are not great companies to get involved with. You may get involved with these in your student loans. They offer higher rates. Okay. They also may take over contracts for installment debts like Best Buy. You go buy a TV through there, you want to finance that. You're going to go through some random finance company that gives you a high percentage of interest that's going to be tagged onto that. Be very wary when you go through these. They are higher interest. They're almost like they act as if they are like credit card companies, but they'll loan you more money for it. So the higher your uh, kind of thing goes, they usually take unsecured loans, so they offer you high interest rates. Okay, a finance company also makes loans directly to consumers at higher rates of interest because they're unsecured loans, meaning there's no collateral to back it up. These have relatively high interest rates, often as much as 15% or more a year. So when you get in with a finance company, when you're buying things from a store like Best Buy or you're putting things on charge cards and different things along those lines. You're getting into finance companies, and they're going to offer you a very high interest rate. When you go to a store and you purchase stuff, there's 4 different types of account. There's charge accounts, there's regular charge accounts, there's revolving charge accounts, and there's an installment charge account. Now, none of these are good, okay? And if you're not buying it with cash, that means you can't afford it. So just remember that in a sense. You shouldn't be buying anything on credit cards like clothes or anything like that you can't afford, like groceries. That should all be designated in your last chapter when you did your budget project. You should be doing your budget. We're going to do a budget. I'm going to show you. You're going to pick out a job when we do a look into the future project here at the end of this chapter. So a charge account allows customers to buy goods or services from a particular company and pay for them later. Some of your parents might have a charge account at Kohl's, Best Buy, Target. They all offer credit cards. A regular charge account has a credit limit or maximum amount of goods or services a person can buy on the promise to pay them in the future. So these are the 3 types of charge accounts. So we have a charge account, then we have the 3 types of these. These are typically about 30 days long. As long as you pay that off in full, you can continue to use it. This acts as a credit card towards that store, okay? Number 2, a revolving charge account allows you to make additional purchase from the same store even if you have not paid the previous month's bill in full yet. This is very dangerous. Do not get into these, okay? Because if they're revolving, that means you're paying higher interest, okay? So don't have a revolving charge account. An installment charge account, okay? So when you go to Arthur F. Schultz or you buy something that's on installment, you go to Lowe's and you get a 12 months installment charge for your refrigerator because you can't afford it, or your washer and dryer because you're paying $3,000 for a washer and dryer. TV, same thing. Best Buy will offer it for computers, PCs, Macs. This is where the buyer pays the store a little bit per month. It's usually a fixed rate with interest on it, and you'll pay a fixed amount over a 3-year period. It's kind of like the Chapter 4, Section 1 deal that we looked at, okay? So you have the revolving charge account. You have the revolving charge, which allows you to keep making purchases on it without paying the bill in full, okay? You have a regular charge, 30 days, paid in full, okay? So you charge it, you pay it in full at the end of the month, you don't have to pay a penalty. Revolving charge account allows you to pay a minimum payment on it and keep it going. It acts as if it's the closest thing to a credit card you can get at a store, which most of them have. Like you can get them from Lowe's, you can get them from any store that you want. You can get a revolving charge account. You can get a regular charge account, which means you pay it up front and then you pay it off at the end of the month. And then the installment charge account, which you pay in the same payments over a specific time period. None of them are good. I would advise you strongly to stay away from all of them because it means you can't afford what you're trying to buy. And then last but not least is the kicker, credit cards. Now everybody wants to say credit cards are terrible. Credit cards are terrible if you use them in the wrong way. Credit cards can be of your advantage if you use them the correct way and you pay them off in full at the end of the month. This allows the credit bureau to track your spending and see that you have a good lineage of spending from your past and you're a responsible person that pays things off on time. Okay? If you allow this to go from month to month, very similar to the revolving charge account right here, right here, this will charge interest on what you have revolving on your credit card at that point in time. Usually it's going to be anywhere. So if you're paying, let's say, 12% per APR, annual percentage rate per year on your credit card, that means whatever you have revolving from carrying over from the other month, let's say you bought something for $300 on your credit card that has a $2,000 max limit. Let's say you made the minimum payment of $25, so there's $275 on there right now. Let me calculate this. So if you have $275 and you get charged 1.5%, because let's say it's about 15%, most of them have 15 to 18%. So let's go 18% on the high side. 18 divided by 12 equals 1.5%. So you have $275 on your card. You times that by 1.5%. You're going to be paying an interest on that per month. Okay. You're going to be paying an extra $50 a month to have $275 on there. Now, let's say you're late one payment. That's an extra 35 times whatever the stipulations they give you. As the amount increases, let's say you run it up to $2,000, you max it out. So You go up to $2,000 is on your credit card. You times it by I'm sorry. You go up to $2,000 on your credit card. You times it by 1%. That's $30 a month. $30 a month times 12. That means if you have $2,000 on your credit card, you're paying $360 a year more for that credit card just to hold $2,000 for you. So you're just paying for them to just have money sit there. And on top of that, you're paying the minimum payment, which means that you're not even making it, and it just keeps revolving, and it could sit there for years. 7 to 10 years it could sit there before it actually gets closed out. And then now what do? Okay? So you're just willingly giving them $360 a year if you have $2,000 on your credit card. And hey, here's $360. I can't pay this credit card off. My monthly budget's too strapped. Now your monthly budget's strapped. Now you're giving them $360 a month, and now you're in trouble because you go, what do I have to do to be able to continue my living, my unregulated living that I have? Well, you go get another credit card. Well, you run that one up to $5,000 a month. Now, instead of, the 360, you're paying them $700 a month. Now you have two maxed out credit cards. One's you're paying $700 a year. $700 a year. And the other one you're paying $360 a year. That's $1,100 a year you're paying towards credit cards, and you still haven't paid them off. Do you see how this works? And then the average American is in $30,000 of credit card debt. That's the average American. The average American's in $30,000 of credit card debt. Incredible. Okay. And like I said, finance charges, the cost of the credit in money and cents, taking into account interest costs. And these are all the charges that the past due balance that you're going to pay and the interest on the credit card. And like I said, the APR, this is how much that you're going to be charged per year on that credit card percentage rate. Usually that's excluding membership fees. They did a really nice job creating this PowerPoint. This helps know which creditor is changing the most for credit. This allows consumers to compare these costs and choose the best one. People get themselves into big trouble, and it happens over a period of 4 to 5 years. And now all of a sudden, they're paying $5-6 grand a year in credit card, just to the credit cards, and they have a running balance of $10,000 to $15,000 on 2 or 3 credit cards, and they can't specifically pay them off. They've gotten themselves into too deep. They keep living. They don't change their habits. They don't have a zero-based budget, and they don't know where their money is going, guys. Know where your money is going. I call it talking to your money. When I talk to my money, that means when I get home, my wife and I, we write down what we spent. It's not that complicated. It's not that hard, but it's something that's going to save your life financially. Okay? You could have the best job in the world, the most money in the world. You won't be able to talk to you. If you can't talk to your money, have a zero-based budget, you will not live a free financial life. Okay? This is very, very, very dangerous. I can't stress it enough. These things will get you in your life. You will think they will be harmless starting off. You'll dip into it and you'll say, hey, you make one purchase, you say, hey, I may as well get something else. Before you know it, you're in too deep. You can't pay it off because your monthly budget won't allow it. You'll never have the income on your hands to do it. Now you're stuck with another monthly budget, something that has to come out of your disposable income. Now you have less discretionary income, and you are setting yourself up for financial failure. Be careful when you get charge cards, revolving accounts, okay, credit cards, doing these things. And like I said, if you handle the credit card wisely, it is there, okay, to be paid off at the end of the month for gas only, to make a good line. So when you go and get a mortgage on an auto loan or a home, the credit companies can see that you've paid all your payments and you have a good line of credit in the past. Okay? Do not get yourself into trouble with this, guys. Do not. All right, guys, have a good day. If you have any questions for me, let me know. You're going to be doing the credit and debt module at the end of this. Make sure you get that done on time. I'm going to give you into the weekend to complete this. All right? All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Have a nice weekend. Get done with your module.